My favorite was when they were like,
No, we're saving that.
okay.
Yeah, look, you said you were gonna go straight in. You almost
I
had
got him to do it
You almost
almost.
had him.
Okay. I won't talk about the tiger and what happens. What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show.
Fireworks right when we start.
You
Amazing.
may be hearing fireworks during this episode. We are recording here on America's birthday, July 4th. Happy birthday, America.
At the end, we're gonna read the Declaration of Independence.
Let's. I think
And
this
then
is.
Nick Cage is gonna steal our script.
This is a potentially a good year for America to grow up a little bit and figure some things out.
Yeah, we'll definitely do
Maybe it's time to mature. This is like that talk my dad had with me after I turned like 15. He's like, son,
Grow up.
you're becoming a man.
Hey, 2022 is gonna be America's year. Hopefully. /3 until the next July 4th. This is where we can change.
What are we, like 247? We've only had 240 some years to figure this out, and it's happening.
This is
I don't
depressing.
know if it's... Okay, hey!
You don't like us
Episode.
talking about our country's current state of mind?
There was 2 mass shootings.
I know. Do better.
I don't think this is our year.
It's our year to grow up.
It's a year of self-reflection and change.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully. Anyways, we're here to talk about some fun things we did and some things we watched and played and whatnot. So, Luke, how was your week?
It was good. A little busy. I did a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah. First thing, I guess I'll just start off with quick. I started the Umbrella Academy.
Ah, yes.
I've really been enjoying it. Unfortunately, Stranger Things came out, and now I'm like waiting to finish Umbrella Academy since they're similar in a weird kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it might taint Umbrella Academy a little bit.
Oh, sure.
So I'm waiting for Stranger Things to cool off. I didn't want to watch something almost like comic booky right after it.
Yeah.
But I did start some other things. The Boys season 3 continues to be amazing. The last episode was fantastic. I'm itching to get to like these last couple episodes. I don't know how many there are.
8. There's 1 left.
Oh, there's one. Oh my gosh.
Which means
That makes me a little nervous.
Now that Stranger Things is over, I can go straight over to that.
Yeah, you'll be able to binge that.
The last 2 episodes of The Boys have been phenomenal. Yeah. I'm nervous for what Homelander's gonna do. Another show I started just kind of today was The Terminal List.
Oh, over on Amazon.
Over on Amazon, stars Chris Pratt.
The way you said his voice sounded like you were fed up with it.
No, actually, he's great in it. I've watched the first 2 episodes, and if you are tired of Chris Pratt being the goofy, quippy guy, you should check this out, because he's not that at all in
I
this.
feel like he's talking to me.
I mean, and me too.
I'm definitely talking to both of you.
Yeah.
He's a Navy SEAL, definitely with PTSD, going through a lot of stuff right now, and he's very unreliable in his storytelling that he's doing.
Nice.
It's very interesting. I watched the first episode, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be watching this. I don't want to say too much about it though. I almost like ruined stuff in the first episode for Brett earlier.
This guy.
Oh, look at him.
Almost just to spit it out. I was like, and then this happened.
He has McDonald's for dinner, and he just gets all loosey-goosey.
He gets all worked up.
I mean, it happens. McDonald's does loosen my tongue. I also watched 3 movies this weekend.
Oh my
One I'll be
God.
talking about with Brett. But because of that movie, which was RRR, I watched 2 other movies, which are kind of one movie. And that was Bahubali 1, the beginning, and Bahubali 2, the conclusion. I heard about these like in the past because they had some really just wild action sequences that were going around on the internet. I think people really need to check these out. they are a ton of fun. The story of Bahubali is Hamlet, or The Lion King. What are you...
I'm tweeting.
You keep looking over at me.
I'm
just
distracting Tyler, sorry.
Oh my goodness. Bahubali it's Hamlet, The Lion King, The Northman. It's that storyline, but it's in India. It's super epic. The action sequences are absolutely insane. I'm sure people have seen the clip that was going around on Twitter and TikTok where the guys get launched out of a palm tree style catapult. They all curl up with their shields and then land on the other side of the castle.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the more tame things that happens in those two movies. These two brothers in the story just have crazy super strength. They're falling off cliffs and throwing chariots and breaking mountains. It's absolute insanity. It is so much fun. And it's really interesting too because you can see the stuff in the Bahubali movies that improve in RRR, mainly like visual effects and storytelling.
Yeah.
But man, they're so much fun. They're on Netflix.
Okay.
All three of these movies. I watched Bahubali in Hindi. I think there's also an English version, but apparently they're both dubs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But apparently the English is just terrible.
Oh.
Which I feel like is just an issue most of the time.
Yeah.
So I just watched it in another language so I could just read it anyway, and it lines up pretty good.
Yeah.
But man, if you want to be entertained for like 5 hours, you can just treat it like a TV show.
Yeah.
You should check them out. I know a lot of people won't because subtitles.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating. I had to go through that whole thing with Parasite a couple years ago where it's like, well, I'm not going to watch it because I don't want to watch a movie that's all in Korean.
Don't let foreign language films and subtitles stop you from enjoying good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a silly hill to die on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the narrative structure of the Bahubali movies, too, was very interesting because it starts off like in our current time for an hour, and then it flashes back for the rest of the movie.
Oh.
And then it ends, like a to-be-continued type thing.
Yep.
And the second one starts in the flashback, goes all the way through, and then ends in the current time again. And the same actor plays the son and the father in the flashbacks and the current time.
Oh, interesting.
And he was really good. Let's see, what was his name? To give him credit. Prabhas. I'm so sorry for butchering that. And his brother, the dude who played Bahubali and Baladeva, were awesome. They were great. Yeah, you should check them out. They're really fun.
Cool.
But we should talk about RRR.
We should talk about RRR.
Which kind of got me on this train of... I saw a bunch of people on TikTok talking about RRR, and then Quarter Crew did a VFX reaction, and I was like, I'm not even going to watch this. I'm just going to watch the movie. And I saw one of the greatest things ever, in my opinion. It has all the wild action, the crazy stunts, but also has a really cool bromance story with a lot of heart that I just loved.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It's just like it's an epic.
Yeah.
I mean, in every sense of the word, right? It does have everything. It's a big movie. It's 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
But it does it packs in this compelling friendship bromance as you described it. These there's kind of these other romance storylines with freedom fighters versus colonization, of the British Empire of India in the 1920s, and it's this huge power struggle, but then it's at the same time it's about these two men and their relationship and doing what they think is right, while at the same time having secrets. Dude, it's so
hunting
well
each other essentially, not knowing it yet.
Yep.
Dude, that build up to when we know that they're going to fight
Yeah.
and they don't know yet was I thought it was super tense and and they do this in all the movies. One of them finds something out and they're just like it zooms in on their face almost like Sam Raimi style. It's just oh no.
This movie may have more slow-mo than Snyder's Justice League.
And does it better.
It also has like 3 music videos embedded in it.
There's a dance sequence at a party like an hour in.
It's phenomenal.
That I rewound and watched again because I loved it so much. And because I forgot to read the subtitles and I wanted to get the words.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It was are you watching the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, the story is really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know. I don't want to say I'm surprised by. Like other countries can't make good stories. Ooh. But I think I was going in just expecting this wild action story. And it was just everything.
Yeah, it definitely it pays off.
It gave me everything I wanted.
It pays off that action story promise that it has, because I do think it makes a promise of like this is going to be a big action movie, and I think it delivers on that. But at the same time, there is like a deeper story there that weaves its way throughout. Oh man, and some of the choreography with the action scenes, but there's some like chase scenes too, and everything, man.
Dude, just like the opening scene of this movie makes you go, "Oh wow," which is I don't even know if it's in this trailer here, but it's the prison sequence where the Rom has to go out into this giant crowd and arrest one guy, and he just fights off like 1,000 people, and you watch and you're just like, this is going to be the best thing I've ever seen. And that's like his introduction, and the introduction of the other guy,
Bahim,
yeah, where he's like trying to hunt a wolf but accidentally has to stop a tiger.
Oh, dude, when that tiger comes, he's like holding them.
It's just like scratching up, and he's just like flexing on it. Oh my gosh, it was so epic. The other really impressive thing, and while not all the CG is perfect, like what movie is perfect CGI? No, anymore, or ever, anymore. They tell you before the movie even starts, every single animal you see in this movie is CGI. And it looks really good for the most part.
They do a great job.
Specifically, like there's a horse that Rom uses
on the bridge,
and it looks so good. It was so impressive. That bridge sequence is amazing.
It is, because it's
just
the
like
first time that they meet and they have this like silent communication
from like a mile away. And they pull off the coolest like superhero save.
Yeah.
That puts like all the DC Marvel movies to shame. It was so amazing. And like it's 45 minutes in and then you get the title sequence and you're just like, yes. Something else that was really good was the cinematography. I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
Especially, I think my favorite shot is when there's the party sequence fight.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the dance one. This is later, and Rom comes in on a flaming chariot wagon, and it just like gets launched over him, and there's just fire behind him, and it looks so freaking cool. And just the visual representation of both characters, like Rom is fire, Bahim is water.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool throughout too.
Yeah, because right after that they have that fight where
Rom has the torches, Bahim has the hoses.
Yeah. Dude, it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's and when I say fun, like I don't mean like not good. It's just fun. Because it's good. It's entertaining. I think like you said, the cinematography, the every shot is so well connected to the previous shot and the next shot in telling that story. It's really, really well edited.
Mm-hmm. It's 3 hours, and I was never bored. That being said, I mean, every time there's an action sequence, you're like, they can't do anything better, cooler than that.
Right.
And then they do. The final like fight is
Bonkers.
super creative and super fun. I dare somebody to up it.
Yeah, right?
It's probably gonna be this guy again. This guy did the Bahubali movies as well. It's the same director for all three.
Well, he'll be getting more work for sure.
Oh yeah. Actually, after he gets his Oscar for this, man, it's so insane. I freaking love this movie. I think it's hard to say right now because I want to see everything everywhere all at once again, but it might be my favorite movie of the year. Out of just sheer joy. I'd never seen anything like it, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I do need to see everything all at once again because that was really good too.
Yeah.
Right now they're tied for first on my little list.
Real quick before we do on, I just want to move on. I want to shout out the score.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about some of the music and like the musical numbers, but like the score in between those musical numbers is all really well done.
Fantastic, yeah.
And it's always telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
The two leads are fantastic. The final just musical number during like the credits got me emotional because I was just so happy when the movie ended. I would love if people would check this out. It's on Netflix. It is in Hindi. There is no English version for this one, at least yet.
There's actually a lot of English in
Yeah,
there, though, because of
there's a lot of British
the British
characters.
occupation, and so they obviously all speak in English.
And Ram is like a translator for a lot of it.
Yeah.
I really encourage people to check it out.
I would too.
Really don't think you'll be disappointed. I don't really know how you could be.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how to preface that any more than just, it's long, but like if you treat it like maybe like a 2-night thing, like two extended episodes of something, I think you'll find that you'll really enjoy it.
It's shorter than the 2 episodes of Stranger Things.
Exactly. See?
Shorter than Zack Snyder's Justice League, and
I know you binge watched. I know you binge watched Stranger Things this weekend, so
the whole series.
Exactly, all of it.
All 4 seasons.
But yeah,
In one night.
I don't have a problem giving this a booyah. I think it's awesome.
Same. It's a booyah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fun. So, Tyler, what'd you do this week?
I turned my ears back on. I was trying to like half listen to that to make sure I didn't get anything spoiled.
I've been listening to the soundtrack like all week.
So maybe that if I watch it, it won't be completely spoiled.
Nacho.
I'll go quick. I read Paper Girls Volume 1. I've owned those books for like a year, and I just haven't really gotten around to reading them. But after Stranger Things, I was really feeling it. I needed something else to continue to scratch that itch, and Paper Girls was the perfect book for it. I'd give Volume 1 a booyah. Highly recommend checking that out if you haven't. And there's a Prime TV show coming soon. And if you want to get kind of prepped for that, this is a good way to do it. I watched Stranger Things, which we're going to talk about a little later. Yep. I watched The Northman.
Hey!
I missed this one in theaters, but I bought myself a movie for my birthday, and this was the movie I decided to purchase, and I was very pleased with it.
Awesome.
Movie's gnarly. It's not this huge action-packed thing, but man, it's freaking great.
Yeah.
Like, at first, I remember when you guys came back and reviewed it, you were like, yeah, it's not super action-packed, and I was like, okay, that's kind of, I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't think I would have wanted it different than what we got.
It's a nice blend of what Eggers is really good at,
yes,
and what, a studio is going to want to try and put butts in seats.
Right.
So,
yeah, I
think it works.
I also just enjoy that Eggers works with the same cast a lot.
Yeah.
Like even the dad from The Witch is in it in a very small role. But yeah, it's just cool. Like you kind of see these faces, and it almost acts like a cameo. You're like, oh hey, that guy. So that was fun. I've liked all 3 of his movies.
Yep.
I'm curious to see what he does next. Obviously, it'll take him like 10 years because he's so research driven with what he makes. But no, I'd give it a fanboy worthy. I walked upstairs and at one point Dana's like, "Oh, how is it?" And I kind of told her it was the part where the brothers are cut to pieces and turned into a horse.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, I don't think you'd like this." She's like, "Why not?" And I explained it to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll never watch that." I was like, "Yeah." So, yeah, it's a fanboy worthy. The movie's gnarly. Highly recommend it if you're into kind of the Scandinavian folklore. You should check it out. And then the last thing that I didn't even write down because I forgot that was during this week. I feel like this week has been really long. I had a birthday party at my house Saturday.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Wait, did we sing that last week?
No.
We wished him a happy birthday.
did.
We'll
We
get
sing.
copyright struck. If
Oh yeah,
keep
we had that
singing.
freaking dope cake. That was so good.
No, so I celebrated my 30th birthday Saturday with you guys and some others.
It was a lot of fun.
There's a few people there. So if you listen to this and you were there, thank you for coming. It was a good time. I got some really cool gifts.
You have a favorite?
Probably the card from my mother-in-law that says moist on it.
What?
So I thought that was super funny.
My mom got Stephanie the same because she hates that word.
Yeah. I do too, and that's why it was so funny to me. But no, so like I can very quickly kind of recap some of the things. So I got a Michelangelo and oh my gosh, a Cobra Kai thing from Lepke. That's super cool. And then I got a gift card from him as well to Prairie Dog Comics. And I actually went and bought 2 comics this weekend. I bought Batman Curse of the White Knight, which is the follow-up to Batman White Knight, which I think is one of the coolest comic book ideas ever. Also executed very great.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Joker goes good and Gotham turns on Batman.
Ooh.
It's a really cool premise. And then I bought Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 1. I've not read it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Then I also got a bottle of whiskey.
Nice.
That was really tasty.
Country Sexy Bottom?
No,
What's it called?
It's called Rabbit Hole, I think. It's good.
I actually can't remember the name of what it actually is.
I think it's Rabbit Hole.
No.
His. Country Smooth.
Oh, mine's
was.
better.
Yeah, it's bad. Don't get it.
I like my name for it more.
And then I got the Batman in 4K, which I hadn't bought yet, which is kind of crazy. I got Iced with a Smirnoff.
You got House of M.
I did get an autographed House of M comic with the certificate of authenticity, which is absolutely nuts.
That's awesome.
That is now downstairs on my bookshelf. I'm kind of scared to touch it.
Never coming out of the package.
It's not getting unsleeved ever.
If you want to read it, you're getting it on Comixology.
Right. So yeah, no, it was a good time. But then the last thing I did, which is on our order of show down there at the bottom, is I watched The Black Phone, which Brett also watched.
Heck yeah.
And I will, at the outset, say, one, I've watched some really good movies and shows here recently, so this is just awesome to add to that list.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I feel like this weekend we all just watched so much good stuff.
Yeah, it's well, here lately has been really good.
Yeah.
Just in general, like
Yeah.
the things that have come out, it feels like we're getting out of the pandemic stuff and getting into like kind of the normal flow again.
Yep.
The Black Phone does not disappoint. It's a booyah for me. I think this is
Leading off with his rating.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's not that scary. So if there's people telling you it's horrifying, it's not.
Even for like me.
It's
No,
not. It's
even
not
for
that
you.
scary.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really not. I think one of my favorite aspects of this movie is that the paranormal, supernatural side of the film is not against the protagonist.
Yeah.
Which is just so cool. And I've been listening to a lot of like Cargill interviews, and kind of he talks about how he writes things. He's like, I'm going to tell you a completely ordinary story, and then I'm just going to throw in something that's completely off the wall.
Yeah.
And in this, and in most things, it's supernatural for
Mhm.
them. Derrickson and Cargill knocked this one out of the park.
100%.
I even tweeted about it, and they both liked the tweet.
Look at you.
I'll pull it up. So go ahead and
I'll read my tweet while you're looking yours up.
and then I'll read my tweet.
I said the black this is kind of my Twitter review. The Black Phone is the kind of approachable horror that the genre desperately needs. It's less about being scared for a moment and more about elongating a sense of dread. It doesn't have. It has a couple like
There's two jump scares that got me.
Yeah.
There's
But-
two that got me.
Yeah. But ultimately, yeah, it's more about this like, it's like a kidnapper thriller. How are you gonna escape type of thing?
Yeah.
And like I like, the use of paranormal is done really well, and it's really unique. And there's layers to it that it doesn't overly explain things
No.
too.
Nope.
Um,
Doesn't need to.
and it doesn't need to.
Yep.
No. Go ahead. What was
My
your...
Twitter review was the Black Phone is what horror can be: frightening, intense, and emotional. Scott Derrickson and Massworm have done it again. Bravo. I think I saw somebody talk about this movie in their like tagline reviews, like their headline was horror heals. And I was like, man, I've not really thought of that, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
And I won't go into details, but Finney, the main character in this movie, I've been that kid.
Yeah.
And not in the sense of being kidnapped, but the other kind of theme in this movie. I was that kid. And so like this movie, it was hard to watch. I watched it with some friends from work, and I was sitting there when it ended, and they were like trying to talk to me.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't
process.
Like I was just so stuck on the screen for some reason. So it took me a minute to like snap back, like, oh yeah, there's people here with me.
Yeah.
It's a deeply emotional story that Scott Derrickson, I guess, wrote kind of about his childhood. And I guess this was what he pitched prior to them getting the Black Phone, was the stuff with the dad. And yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Because the Black Phone is the movie is based off of a short story, but obviously, and by Joe Hill, who wrote that short story. But you have to flesh that short story out to be a feature length movie, and so yeah, it's really cool that they
were able to fit like what Derrickson wanted to write into a story. Like the Black Phone becomes the vehicle for that story. And it's really good. I mean, I quickly just want to go through Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw, the two child actors who are really the focus of this movie, are both just absolutely phenomenal. This is Mason Thames' like first project.
So good.
And he carries it perfectly. He does such a good job. Him across from Ethan Hawke, I did not feel like he was outmatched at all from an acting standpoint.
They have great chemistry.
They do. And it's weird to say that the protagonist and antagonist chemistry is a positive, but no, it's really good. And then Madeline McGraw, who she plays Gwen, is next level.
I think she steals the show.
She does. She does steal the show, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like it works.
Yeah. It's still very much a story about Finney and escaping, but like it's seeing her perspective, I think, is really unique because of kind of the we talk about the paranormal, like the paranormal stuff around her.
Yes.
I think is a really fascinating way of using that. And yeah, like kind of what you had alluded to with some of the other themes of I'm trying not to spoil anything.
Like, I mean, you can quickly go through some of the themes. Learning to stand up for yourself and have confidence is one of the themes in this movie. Childhood trauma is a theme in this movie. Kidnapping, alcoholism.
There's a scene in this movie, and it has nothing to do with Ethan Hawke or the kidnapping, but it made me so mad. Like it's with their Terrence, their father, and it's mostly around Terrence and Gwen. And
is it the scene in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it like that was more horror for me. And it's this like very real. Like this is like we make movies about ghosts and stuff, but there's real horror in our lives, and like having to move through that. And like this is what it looks like.
Yeah. Ghosts.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah.
It was a roast.
There's a couple things like that in this, and I think one of the things they really nail, and I won't spoil it, but the very end of this movie is like very apt for that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
and I thought that was handled really well. We didn't talk about him, but Ethan Hawke is horrifying in this movie. He's super creepy. He's definitely playing multiple characters. It's kind of evidenced in the trailer, but when you see it in the movie, you're like, oh yeah, he's definitely going through things.
Yeah.
It kind of unfolds in a different way than I expected it to.
Mm-hmm.
With him, like his reasoning for what he's doing, and kind of when he decides it's time to kill the kid or not.
Well, and like
super weird.
I think that ties back into some of that childhood trauma, that theme that they established earlier with these kids, and like he probably went through, like, again, they don't outright say it, but like they drop enough hints. It's like he went through stuff.
Yeah.
And that's affecting him now.
Yep.
And they do a really good job of tying all those things, and it makes sense. It doesn't feel like his actions are just because he's a schizophrenic or whatever it would be. Like, and that's not what the movie tells you. That's just an example.
Well, and it's like the same reason Finney doesn't do, like, some of the decisions. Finney makes interesting decisions.
Yep.
Some of the decisions he makes sense in his upbringing, because you're like for example, with the door being open.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not. No.
Yeah.
I'm not testing that, right? Like, they do a good job of giving you enough, but letting you put the pieces of the puzzle together. They don't read it to you like you're 5.
Yeah.
They let you kind of piece this movie together. But I don't want to spend a ton more time. Did you see the twist at the end coming? Because I didn't know. I did not. I was like, oh my gosh.
The last part I was going to mention was like the twist and turn that they take you through here in the end was really well set up. It was not telegraphed.
There's only one tell, and you don't realize it until it's over.
Exactly.
And it's
So great writing.
That's
just great script writing, great editing, and when you decide those shots and how you show things, all of that worked really, really well.
Look, I know these guys did Doctor Strange. I don't want them to leave this space.
You can keep making
they're writing
these kind of movies.
Their
forever,
writing shines.
please.
Their writing shines so much. It's so tightly written, man.
Yeah.
It's so tight. Like it's really good. I'd give it a booyah. I highly recommend it. The score is really good too. Music's awesome in it. So, do you have anything else?
I'll also give it a booyah.
Sweet.
And can't wait for whatever they do next.
Yeah, I hope they announce it soon. I know they got some things in the works, but
I was gonna say Derrickson has like 11 things on his. I mean, who knows what is actually gonna be moving forward? But I wonder if Cargill has stuff on his.
He'd be the more telling.
Yeah, I think so.
Of the two.
Just tweet at him. He'll probably respond. Hey, what's next, buddy?
Dude, he does a lot of interviews. He'd probably come on and chat with us at some point. Sick.
Bermuda.
I kind of want to read his novels. Oh, he talked about that in one of the interviews I listened to.
Is that a Bermuda
There's
Triangle
nothing
movie?
on IMDb about it, but
No, I don't think it is. But he didn't really say a whole lot either.
pretty cool.
You think there'd be more things about the Bermuda Triangle or involving the Bermuda Triangle?
Well, if you make a movie about it, you'll die.
Oh,
Well, you don't have to go there.
we better not do that then.
But if you talk about Bermuda, Bermuda comes for you.
Is it like if I say Bermuda, Bermuda, Bermuda 3
In a mirror.
times?
You have to do it in the reflection of that poster.
Bermuda, Bermuda, Bermuda. I said it wrong.
So at the end of the Sword in the or middle of Sword in the Stone, did Merlin actually die when he's like, "I'm going to Bermuda"?
Probably.
And he actually like exploded on the way and died, and the whole thing was just a dream for Arthur. He's really just still working for that crazy old.
When are we getting that live action movie?
Hopefully never.
I hope not. But like,
we already got it.
it's
The
a
Charlie
Disney-
Hunnam.
It's a Disney animated movie, so it's gonna be remade. Okay.
At this point, the only one that should be made is Treasure Planet.
Luke, if you decide to go see the Black Phone, please let me know.
Okay.
I might go with you.
I was gonna go see it, and then I got so distracted by RRR and Babu Babu and Stranger Things, but like nothing else mattered to me at that point. I almost skipped your birthday. I was like, I gotta watch this. No.
Well, if you decide to go see it, let me know, because I'd love to go see it again. It's so good, and the 2 jump scares that got me are I need a chance at redemption.
Right.
You just want to watch me Talk to the.
It won't get you too. It might get you. I think the second one will get him more than the first one.
Yeah.
If I see anything, I'm seeing Minions 3 or whatever.
No,
it
you're
is.
not.
I'm gonna
Minions is like one of the
smash
worst
this
movies
Dr.
you've ever
Pepper over
It's
your
right.
face.
Guys, for real though, I am so happy that Minions is out because that means this weekend I just have to sit through #1 movie in the world or whatever.
Yeah, there
then-
will no more ads.
And then like in 3 weeks it'll be like now on streaming, and then it's done. I never have to deal with it again.
until Minions 4.
Yes, but like that gives me a grace period of like what, a year and a half?
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice. It's
Exactly.
gonna be nice.
I didn't really have anything else. I watched Stranger Things this weekend.
That took some time, like 5 hours.
It took some time. So, and then we did a lot this weekend. We hung out and did your birthday party and got to see some family this weekend for for the holiday. So, shout out to my family from Florida who came up to see us.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
I didn't see him.
Jerk. All right, trailers. What we got? Luke, you had a few I knew.
I have 3 trailers. Tyler kind of mentioned it earlier, being on Amazon Prime, but Paper Girls got a little minute teaser.
Sick.
It's a little teaser trailer.
My favorite part about this trailer is that I bet people are going to watch it and they're going to go, oh, it's something with time travel or something. And you have no idea what you're in for.
No clue.
This trailer shows probably the first 4 or 5 pages of the actual comic.
Doesn't even show you any of like the other people.
Yeah, it gets. Imagine Stranger Things like turned up to 20.
Yeah,
It really gets ridiculous.
I'm only a volume in, and I can tell you it's crazy. it's crazier than Stranger Things.
Like you get to the 4th issue, and you're just like, how is this not a show yet?
In the book,
It is wild.
In the book, sorry, I have to backtrack on this because I wanted to talk to you about it. I think they do one of the best things that I think people have briefly done in other things that include time travel. But like speaking of the Earth and its relative position to the sun when you time travel is actually important. I love that little detail in the comic. Like it's so nice that they actually address it. Like it's a part of the story. Because that always kind of bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, it looks great. I'm really excited for that.
I have no idea what this story is
Brian
about,
K. Vaughan.
but thumbs up for the teaser for me.
Yeah, Brian K. Vaughan is one of my favorite writers.
Yeah.
So.
I was gonna save this. I think I'm gonna read Saga. Yeah. Everything
I have all of them up
read
to
of
date.
his
Well,
has
that's not
been-
true because it's.
Well,
it's
I
on
did see the
now.
new issues coming out on the shelf at Prairie
Yeah.
Dog, but
I'm just waiting for the books.
I think what he does, everything I've read of his, I've just been so impressed by. So
Saga needs to be a show like Invincible.
animated.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
I think it's a little bit just too much for live action.
It's a little too adult.
Mm.
Not just it being adult, just it would take so much production. Like it. There's an entire race of people that are just like have TVs for heads.
Yeah.
And it's super weird. And I feel like it'd be hard to grasp kind of in live action, at least at first. And a lot of people would be like, no, I'm good. But in animation, you can do anything.
This is true.
Somebody please make that a show. That is one of the best comics. Another trailer we got was for Harley Quinn season 3.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeet.
I didn't write down when it's coming out.
August, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
This looks great. Harlivy's in like full force.
Power couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just
Looks super
looks
violent and super like
even
sexual.
even more insane and even more graphic than what's come before.
They're turning that notch up to 11.
Really just leaning into it.
James Gunn is in it.
I was just thinking about Clayface's line to James Gunn.
Sit on my face, James Gunn.
Oh. Big thumbs up.
Does
for me.
James Gunn die, though?
I can't wait for it.
Does James Gunn die?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Head
James
explodes?
Gunn's probably. Makes sense.
I can dig it. Looking forward to it, James. The last trailer I have was we got another like look into Gotham Knights, and it was for Robin specifically.
And I actually liked this. I thought this looked a lot better.
Me too. I think Robin looks really fun to play as. Out of the 3 we've seen, he'll be the one I play as if Batgirl looks
sucks.
like she sucks.
I think what I liked kind of the most about it is he moved more fluidly, and I love that they're willing to take liberties on kind of their traversal.
Mm-hmm.
Like the teleporting and going invisible stuff, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
Like, I
and
think it's cool. It's
I even
different.
just like how he implemented it. He's like, oh, the Justice League uses this teleportation tech for the Watchtower. I'm going to just use it to fight.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Right. I love it.
But yeah, I'm really excited for that game, but like still kind of nervous. I'll always be kind of nervous.
I'm gonna play Avengers before it, so that no matter what, it can't be worse.
Dude, Avengers was so bad. What happened to that game?
It's sitting on my shelf. I haven't even installed it.
Oof.
Have they released anything since Black Panther?
They did something
Stuff?
recently. I can't remember what it was.
Was it the Red Room thing for Black Widow?
Is that
Don't
all
remember.
the trailers?
Those are the only 3 I have.
I only have one news story outside of that, and that's that Taron Egerton in an interview revealed he's met with Marvel and expressed interest in Wolverine. They didn't ask him. He expressed the interest. And I say yes, let's do it. He looks huge for Blackbird. He looks like he's already put the size on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a good enough actor. I think he would absolutely own it. And he's young. So if you want Wolverine around for a while again, he can do it.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm on board.
I'm way more on board with this than like a John Krasinski Mr. Fantastic.
I am off board for John Krasinski, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I've been for a while, honestly.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
think-
this-
I
I just really want Raul Coley to.
I think the right director
would
may be able
play
to
it.
do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Taron Egerton is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of the more underrated actors of our time, I think, currently. Obviously he's young, but he has such good range.
And everything he's been in, he's been absolutely stellar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he's had a bad performance.
Might be time to watch Eddie the Eagle again.
I want to cry right now. Let's do it.
Which
It's
also
so
has
good.
Wolverine in it. Hugh
does.
Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, there you
It
go.
does.
That's where it all started.
I wonder if Hugh's like advocating for it.
Yeah.
That's how he got the meeting.
Do you have any news stories?
I don't have any news stories.
Okay, I only had those 3 trailers.
Oh my gosh.
Either that
There was probably
there
more
is-
news this week that we missed, but
or we just didn't do our job, you know.
It was a long holiday weekend. We were all just kind of relaxing, enjoying the time off from work. It's okay.
When's San Diego Comic-Con?
Oh, eventually. At least in 12 days.
yeah, I want to say maybe late July.
July 21st.
Okay, yeah, couple weeks, 3 weeks.
Well, at least we'll finally get some news then, probably about all this.
Absolutely.
You think we'll get a Flash trailer?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Oh my gosh.
They should announce their
We're
delaying
not
it
getting a Flash trailer.
They should delay it to 2025 and redo it. Different actor.
All right, well, let's just jump over to our main topic this evening, which is Stranger Things Season 4 Part 2 released. We now have the complete Season 4. What you got there, Luke?
Tyler's trash.
A candy wrapper?
Trash.
I'm trash.
Trash.
Initial impressions. What do you guys think?
Stranger Things is good. Thumbs
Yes,
up.
I agree.
That's my impression.
What I didn't really know how to tweet or review. I wanted
didn't
to.
want to.
Yeah, I didn't really want to either.
Yeah.
I wanted to, but I didn't know what to say, so I guess I didn't know how to say it, so I just said, honestly, it's amazing how Stranger Things has never missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Because most of the time a show is missed at some point.
Like a season will be a down season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every season of this show has been good.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue
Good to
every
great.
episode has been good.
Yeah.
I know there are, like, maybe even you guys don't like the episode in season 2 that's in Pittsburgh or Chicago or wherever they go.
Oh no,
I love that episode.
I think it's very intriguing, and I wish they honestly had explored more with it.
I don't like that episode,
But
but that's because I just feel like it's spin-off bait and it's annoying.
that's fair. No, I think
That's
that
not about season 2.
I think this season they did an incredible job of moving all of the pieces into the right places for the final season.
Yeah.
And still telling a compelling story.
It's pretty safe, I think, in terms of what it does with characters.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, these are longer episodes than almost anything else in television, and they feel
longer than
and they
movies.
feel great.
Yeah.
They feel great. So like, I could complain about them, not doing some interesting things with certain characters. Again, I'm trying not to spoil anything, but like, they at least still have compelling stories.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just gonna start off with my only con, and the only problem I had with this season was that they split them up by a month. I didn't like that.
Mm.
I hope
we
they
talked about this at the party, and you said it kind of killed the momentum.
Yeah, I think it did.
I think it would have worked had the final 2 episodes done something more drastic.
Or even if there was like a time split of like a day or something, but like it picks off right there.
Oh yeah.
I think
there's no storytelling reason why there needs to be
yeah.
A month, yeah.
a break.
The only reason
for a
I
viewer.
think they did it was because they're like, we do need a way to retain subscribers. Most people subscribe for that month just to binge it, and then they cancel. And this is like, well, now we can get 2 out of them.
I bet for season 5 they do week to week.
They said they weren't.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I just hope just release it all at once.
Yeah, I would rather them release it.
I do agree,
though. One or the other. Just don't do the split.
Yeah, I do agree. I wish and I hope they change their mind that they would just do week to week. It's binging is stressful now.
Yeah.
Now that I'm 30, I don't even have a wife and a kid to stress over. But like, I'm still just like, I watched that whole 4th season block and I loved it. But man, I was tired at the end of it.
Yeah.
Week to week would help with that, and also retain subscribers. But yeah,
think,
that was my only
think
con.
Gives,
the split.
I think it gives the audience moments to talk about it for a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be talking about this in a month, but only to a couple people who weren't able to binge it or were behind and finally catch up.
Or who are starting it, yeah.
Yeah. But like, for us, we're not going to talk about this in 2 weeks.
No.
It'll be done and gone. And
we'll talk about it in 2 years.
I think the idea of, especially for a final season, having that week to week, what's happening next, I think that's really compelling.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that for seasons 2, 3, and 4, following season 1 where it was bingeable, I think it makes sense to just kind of throw it out there in the same kind of format that it was first released. But yeah, for the final season, I think you could, from a business perspective, you can keep people around for a little longer on your service, especially when your service is hurting. Not Netflix is hurting that bad, but it
just doesn't have the greatest reputation, I'd say, at the moment.
But then it does allow for that week to week conversation of what's happening next week.
Every single week, people are talking about like The Boys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The episodic release format works and has been that way for so long for a reason.
Yeah. I think
but
that
is a con to me too. I agree with you.
My maybe only other con,
con's a spoiler,
is what they do with Hopper. At the end of season 3, I think they tease something really interesting with Hopper being somewhere else, and I feel like they missed on that storyline.
I think it's the weakest of the whole season. I don't know if I'd call it a miss, but with you.
Yeah.
Smelling what you're stepping in.
Yeah.
I do think it's probably part of the weaker of the storylines, but I feel like Volume 2 fixed it for me.
It helped.
Yeah.
It helped. Because it answers some questions.
And I just thought what they were doing was so cool. And
I thought it was an opportunity to make the world of Stranger Things feel bigger, and it didn't do that for me. It gave us some cool scenes. I freaking love what they do in the final episode, but like that doesn't build the world anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They've really said the focus is in Hawkins, and that's okay. I just felt like there was an opportunity there for some cool world building.
I feel like that could be one of the sequel bait things
it's
too.
It's gonna be one of the spinoffs. It's gonna be what's his name? His Russian homie.
Enzo. I don't remember his actual name, but his nickname's Enzo because it's the restaurant.
It's probably Anatoly. That's every
probably
Russian character's name. I think the Russia storyline's the weakest. That's not to say it's bad. It's just I don't know. I didn't enjoy it as much. A lot of times when it would get to the Russia stuff, I'd be like, okay, like let's get back to.
Well, there's not that much that happens, and
you just spend your time.
There's a lot happening everywhere else, so
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like they dragged that out so that they had something in each episode or almost every episode.
Gotta meet a quota.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only other con to add, it sounds like we have a lot of cons. I really don't. It's just some of the. I think they could have taken some more risks.
Yes. I was gonna throw. I guess I would have thrown that in as a nitpick.
Yeah.
But if we're talking, yes, same.
Yeah.
Especially when we talked about the mid-season split, I assumed the mid-season split was so that we could kind of have classic Stranger Things, and then we're gonna have something
way different,
way riskier at the end of season 4.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they didn't take those risks, and I still think they moved the pieces for an interesting season 5.
They did a really good job of that. Yeah.
But I would have preferred a few more things to happen, which maybe we'll talk about in spoilers here in a little bit.
Pros, though?
So much.
So many pros.
Eddie. Just Eddie.
Eddie is a pro, yes.
Pro. Again, every new character they bring in...
Always a hit. Yep. They knock it out of the park every single time. Again,
even Jason.
Goes back to not missing.
I hated Jason.
I loved hating Jason.
In the best way. I hated him in the best way.
Yep, me too.
He's great.
Me too.
Because of how terrible he is.
He was awesome. And it's wild, too, because, like, you think about it from his perspective, he's a hyperbole in the show for the sake of making a show, but, like, he's not really doing anything that wrong, I feel like.
No.
It's just because it's not his story.
He's not doing anything any other protagonist wouldn't do.
Me and Logan were talking, he's like, if this story was, like, actually out in the 80s, he would have been the main character.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And I thought that was an awesome point that he made. So.
Yep.
I loved him. He was a great, like, side antagonist in the Hawkins story.
They've always done a really good job of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like having separate from the supernatural stuff, they have really good human like drama and conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That always seems to work. And yeah, he's just another one in a long line who just knocks it out of the park. Also, from a performance standpoint, he was freaking great.
Yeah,
dude, there's.
Like that's
all
that
the performances. Those kids have gotten so good at acting.
That scene in the attic in the last episode.
Yeah,
Max, Lucas, and I think Will are all really good, and especially Will is really impressive because he does not have as much to do this season, and then he gets this moment. It's just like, ow, that hurt.
Yeah.
Gosh, man.
If you need a reminder of how good Noah Schnapp is, watch season 2 again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kid's on another level.
Yeah. I think I wasn't going to throw it in a con because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. He didn't have that much to do. But I think probably the weakest performance is maybe Mike.
I think this is funny too because Mike in the first season, he's the main character.
Yeah.
And once that season ended and everybody's like, we love Dustin and Lucas and Elle, it's like, all right, Mike's the side character. Which I'm perfectly fine with.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like, they traded out Mike for Steve.
Yeah.
Who had this great arc in season 1. And is now, like, one of the 4 main people. It's one of the people everybody's looking forward to. It's like, man, what is Steve going to do this season?
Right.
Yep.
Man, Steve and Dustin for life. They're the best.
For sure.
And Eddie. Eddie.
How do we feel about this season's villain after seeing the conclusion of part 2?
Thumbs up.
Big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I think I appreciated what I appreciated most is it didn't feel like a monster of the week kind of villain. Like, you know, we had the
Demogorgon.
Demogorgon in season 1, and we had the
Demi-dogs.
The Demi-dogs.
And the Shadow Monster
in
season 2.
And then the
Such
Mind
will.
Flayer in season 3. And
I honestly think the villains have gotten better every season.
yeah. Well, they have more. They're more of characters.
They're more of have a presence.
Yeah.
Too,
Yeah.
Like season 1 is just like it's like a bear is attacking.
Yeah, there's a monster in the
A
shadow.
paranormal bear.
And in this one
Annihilation
we have like a
Oh.
fully fleshed out character that is, you know, kind of
That gets a very intriguing
slowly
backstory.
revealed over the course of the season who it is, and it's very fascinating.
Mhm.
I like too that like he feels appropriate to where the kids are at in their experience as well. Like he doesn't feel so strong that they have no chance, but he also doesn't feel so weak that you're like, oh yeah, they can take him.
Right.
Like I don't know, it's cool. I also love, like you said, the backstory, but like just kind of the way they use him physically, like between the upside down and the real world kind of thing that they're doing. That was super interesting.
Sorry. Getting photos from my mother.
Are they cool?
I think
It's family 4th of July stuff. They're making s'mores and
Oh, that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Not a huge marshmallow fan, but
I don't like marshmallows unless it's on a s'more. Only time I like marshmallows.
I'll eat marshmallows on like sweet potatoes.
This has been
That's kind of it.
Marshmallow talk on the What the Fanboy podcast.
If you want a reason to hate Luke, not a huge fan of marshmallows, and I am not a big fan of ice cream. Roast me. No.
Other pros. Let's go back to Stranger Things.
Oh, sorry.
Other pros. No, it's fine.
the CGI.
Yeah, they had $30 million an episode, and it shows. It looks
They
great.
use it well.
Looks
They
great.
use it well.
Yeah. Man, $30 million. That's crazy. At least they finally like used it for something
Something good.
worth it. I'd say I kind of talked about it, but I feel like these last 2 episodes cleaned up a lot of the issues I had with Volume 1. With like I didn't love the Russia stuff, but like once I saw where it ended, I was like, okay, I like it a lot.
It made it a lot better.
The same with like Will, Mike, and Jonathan and Argyle. I was like, their story kind of just seems like they needed something to do. But like once it collided to where it ended up, I was like, I really dig it.
Yeah.
And it just goes back to like, if
Don't
you would
break
have
it
split
up,
it, I would have even said that was an issue.
Yeah.
Somebody might, but not me.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things where they had big enough stories to tell, especially in Hawkins, that you needed a certain amount of episodes that ran a certain amount of time, and otherwise you end up with these big gaps where it's like, well, we don't really need to move the, you know, Will and Argyle, and you know, we don't need to move that crew. We don't need to do anything with the Russia crew for 2 episodes, and then they kind of disappear. So we got to give them something to do just to kind of remind people that they're here because the other story is so big. And it's again, I don't think it's a pacing problem when you have all of the pieces, but when you do just kind of have that mid-season drop off, you're like, well, was that worth it? Yeah, at the end it was. It was fine. It was fine because everything else is paced so well.
Yeah. Also, speaking of side characters, I'm just honestly surprised I liked Argyle as much as I did.
Yeah.
I thought Argyle was funny.
It seems like a character I would not like. Not because he's goofy and high all the time or whatever, just because he doesn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah.
But man, I really enjoyed him.
It was nice.
And plus, he validated pineapple on pizza, which is fine. It's good. It's Hawaiian pizza.
Disagree, but you know.
I like
Also
pineapple on
disagree.
pizza. It's good.
I also disagree, but I don't like pineapple.
It was for me. It was just nice that Jonathan. It gave Jonathan a little bit more of a. He's not just there watching after his little brother. He has a life outside of. his friendships outside of his family, and Argyle's kind of funny.
Nancy.
I think he's fun.
I thought he was funny,
Yeah.
I enjoyed him.
but I think stoner humor is hilarious.
Oh yeah, for sure,
I think it's so funny.
for sure. Other pros, or should we jump into spoilers here pretty soon?
I think we can jump in this.
Yeah, I'm ready for spoilers.
It's only 2 episodes.
Yeah. Well, unless you haven't seen any of it.
That's true.
Then
In
go
which you
back
can
and
go watch our old
Stranger
episodes.
Things. Yeah, we're not talking about the older stuff. We're talking about the new stuff.
Yeah, so we can talk a little bit more spoiler talk here. So if you need to skip, let me make a note on what the time is for our
It's 9:02.
1 hour almost exactly.
Why is Siri responded to me on that one? They're listening.
All right, spoilers, gents. It is time. What do you want to talk about first?
I just kind of want to talk about how there was so much epic stuff that happened.
We got to talk about the concert first.
Yes.
I
Epic
definitely
rock
thought you
concert.
just farted, but it's
It was my chair.
I was like, bro,
it's the little
really?
lever.
That was pretty epic. Yes, the rock
Eddie.
concert.
Eddie, the hero, Master of Puppets by Metallica. I love the choice.
Great choice.
My prediction was Jukebox Hero, but I think they chose right. The fact that the actor actually played some of that, I think, is awesome. And just the way they used Eddie in the last 2 episodes was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And absolutely made me cry.
Yeah, that was a brutal death.
Yeah.
That was a brutal death, for sure.
It was a good one season character arc. Reminded me of Bob from season 2.
I have a question. How do you guys feel about the trend that Stranger Things has where they introduce a new character and then kill them at the end of the season?
When I talk about Risk, that's one of the things I talk about.
Yeah. Same.
I think Eddie should have replaced Steve.
I think Eddie's story is great. I love it. And I don't think he needs to continue to go on, but I do think that at this point we're being introduced to new characters because the main cast has plot armor.
Yeah, they need people to kill. I think the only problem is in Eddie's death to me is telegraphed when he's accused of murder. It's like, okay, well, he has to die. He has to die or he has to live in the Upside Down for the rest of his days. Like, there's really no other way to put it, because even by the end, like, they still believe he's a killer, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. It was just kind of
It does kind of stink that he doesn't get
exonerated.
Yeah. But man, then you don't get that moment between Dustin and his dad or his uncle.
Right.
Yeah, that was so good.
Which was so good.
That made
me cry super
That
hard.
moment was brutal.
Yeah.
But I do get people who complain. They're like, they just introduce a new character and they immediately kill him off.
Yeah.
It's like Bob, who was in season 3, or Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one.
I just think, like,
Heather.
Eddie's death is super impactful.
Wake up. I don't like this.
Dude, that song's hilarious.
Yeah, I think Eddie's death is super impactful. It's really well done. It
thankfully
made me super sad.
they nailed it.
Yeah, they nailed the death for sure. Like, when I talk about Risk, like, I think my biggest issue, I guess we're gonna talk about death now.
We can talk. Yeah. Let's go
is that
into
none
it.
of the main core group are really dead.
So I think this is where I disagree with a lot of people.
They had me with Max. I was there, and then they did the actually.
They did the Rey Skywalker thing.
They did the we're gonna force heal.
Yeah.
Or they just did CPR.
And
That's a thing.
So I think
they could have done that, but they did the whole "I'm gonna heal you" thing.
It's just she uses her powers to do CPR. What's the difference? I mean, I don't know. Here's my thing. I don't mind that they didn't kill everybody or even a lot of people. First of all, Max is pretty much
Max didn't kill everyone.
Max is pretty much brain dead, paralyzed, and all of her limbs are destroyed, which might be worse.
So here's the deal: they can use that as a really interesting story thing, especially with Lucas.
Yes.
In season 5, they can do that. My question is, will they do that? and we don't know until we get there. But I think for season 4 as a contained story, I think it would have been more emotional for me to have had Max die and Lucas have to really wrestle with that. Because at this point he's still grateful. Who wouldn't be that
she's alive?
That she's alive.
Yeah, I think too. It's that moment. The CPR thing I could buy, but that moment is to show that Elle sees Vecna can create. Now she can also create.
Yeah, and I just think it also shows like we don't even know her full extent of her
Right.
power.
Right. And so it's like, okay, well, she can.
Dude, I legit.
Nobody can die now. She can basically keep people alive.
I thought she was gonna fly
because
Mike was like, "You can break mountains and you can fly." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's gonna fly to Hawkins."
That would have been wild.
It would have been really cool, I think. But I do like the piggyback idea that they did do. I thought that was super.
That was
creative.
it was Inception.
Yeah.
It was Inception. It was super. It was super well done.
And the fact
I
that
loved
she
it.
had done it before too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, we're gonna do this.
We're gonna invent something new. No, we're gonna explore something that was
part of her early
kind of already
development,
established. We didn't really talk about it.
My mom showed me how to do this 2
Yeah.
seasons ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind that nobody really died. I think people should prepare that not a lot of people are even gonna die next season.
Yeah. Oh no. At this point,
No, and that's fine.
And I like it. I think
here's my thing.
lots of
Messaging matters. Don't have your show creators say there's gonna be a body count and like hype this thing up for a month.
don't have your actors talk about
Right.
it as well.
Right.
Like they
Like,
did that.
They did that to themselves.
well, I mean, 22 people died, just none of the main characters.
Right, but like you have
Okay,
Mike.
Luke.
And there's people missing.
Okay, Luke.
Dude, Jason got ripped in half. Also,
A new
He's
character
a
introduced
villain.
this season.
Also-
The villain, of course, he was gonna die.
prediction, I don't think he's dead. I think he's in the Upside Down or
No
something.
one dies in this world.
Feels that way.
I have a lot of wild theories. I think they're gonna end game it. I think they're gonna do time travel and kind of reset stuff. The Upside Down is already set in the past entirely. Like it's time locked pretty much. But
Yeah.
even like
That's cool.
even Infinity War and Endgame only killed off like 2 people.
But they kill off a bunch in the middle at the end of Infinity War.
And everybody went, "Oh, they're coming back."
No, for sure, for sure. But
And I think this gives more credence to if somebody might die in the next season, they're actually going to be dead. Where if a lot of people would have died this season, I would have been like, they're definitely going back in time
That's
and
true.
they're going to fix everything.
That's a good way to view it.
yeah,
I just think they could have done some interesting things with, like that relationship between Jonathan and Will.
Mm-hmm.
They could have done some interesting things, like if Max actually dies, like with Lucas, who Caleb McLaughlin clearly. Speaking of the death scenes, Gatton and
Oh my
Caleb
gosh.
absolutely crushed playing the opposite end of that.
yeah.
Man.
They
Yeah.
are so good. I'm glad those were the 2 kids who got those scenes because they
Absolutely
knocked it out of the park.
Nailed it.
But like, we talked about Mike. Kill Mike. Kill Mike. We don't need
Should
him.
we do...
We don't need him. Like all he's
Dude, he's the heart.
Rip the team apart. Make season 5 hard for them.
yeah,
Should we do way too early death predictions?
absolutely.
Yeah, we can do that at the end.
Okay. I love it.
But no, like
It's our
I
fan Fox
agree.
question.
I agree
Oh, it is?
with the.
No, but we
Oh.
can make it.
I agree with the deaths.
I'll
Though.
send it in right now.
I do agree. Like you had mentioned that. I agree with them. Like I think like Brenner dying was really really well done. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie
Dude.
dying.
The fact that she was just like, bye.
Yeah.
She's like, you kind of ruined my life. I'm not even
Right.
going to say bye to you.
Right. Eddie dying. I'm okay with. But I kind of. My problem with Eddie's death more stems from like we basically just sidelined Steve, Robin, and Nancy for 35 minutes, and then we're like, hey, come in and shoot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I wanted them to do more. Like, I wanted more with that story because that's the story that we've kind of been keeping up with the whole season. Nothing really happened until they get off the wall. Like, nobody from that group really is ever at risk. I don't know. Take more risks. Do crazy stuff. Don't hype things up.
Agreed.
Okay, back to epicness.
Yeah, epicness.
One of my favorite moments, one of my favorite shots, when the Surfer Pizza Boys show up and 11 just smashes the helicopter into the ground. Oh Dude, I was hyped up. Just like the slow motion and the giant explosion.
And I love the
It
haze
even
you
felt
can
a
see
little.
off the desert. You're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
It was shot so well.
Yeah.
And it looked real. Like they actually said, we're gonna blow this place up.
You think about what we've been watching a lot of from Disney, Marvel, or Star Wars.
They did not film it in a
They
volume.
didn't film in a volume. They went out to a desert. They blew a thing up. It looks real. It feels real. It looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
More practical sets, please.
Yeah, I thought that while watching The Northman today too.
Yeah.
It's nice. They're like actually outside.
They went out to the field and made a barn and, attached fake dead horses to it and stuff.
Right.
Or
Right.
people,
Yeah. But no, yeah, that scene is freaking sick.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. I hope we get more stuff like that in season 5.
Yeah. I just smashed my watch. What else? Probably the most awesome moment, I think. And it was kind of 3 things all happening at once. You have Eleven, who's like choking out Vecna in his mind. You have Nancy. Freaking Nancy got another gun, bro.
Her sawed-off shotgun.
Now she got a revolver, a Makarov, and a sawed-off shotty. Like, let's go, girl. Oh my gosh. She's just pumping lead into him. And freaking Hopper is using Conan the Barbarian's sword to cut a Demogorgon's head off. Dude, I was losing it at this moment. Just like, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened.
Even after watching RRR?
Yeah,
Different kind of cool.
it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, this weekend was just me going, oh my god!
Yeah, that little like trifecta
In the
moment is
music,
so sick.
because I think it's the Kate Bush remix
It is.
song at
It
that
is.
point.
Yeah.
It's like the cinema sized score. or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, with the Michael Stein and Kyle Dixon synth music
yeah.
going in between.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was losing my cookies. It was so epic.
I think I don't know if I can't call this scene epic, but and I talked about like Lucas earlier when Max gets like snapped up. Just that scene to me was so good. That was probably the most impactful scene of the season to me. Just watching him
Kind of lose it.
Yeah. And then like I guess I don't know if this is true, but when Erica runs in, he like yells at her like "Get help" or whatever. That was improv. Like,
Call
that
911.
wasn't-
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't written in. Like he just did that as part of the scene, and I was like, dude, he's on a different planet in
Yeah.
that scene. Like that's the best acting he's ever done. I loved it.
I want to also mention the lead up to that, where it's,
Bad guy?
What's the we just talked about him, not
Jason?
Connor. Jason.
Yeah.
Jason.
Yes. Yes.
When Jason has the gun and it's
He's like pleading for.
oh my god, the tension in that is
Mhm.
so well
I
done.
thought he was. I was like, bro, they're gonna kill Lucas. They're gonna
No,
freaking do
right?
it.
I didn't think they'd kill him, but I was like, he might get shot.
I thought they were gonna kill him, and Erica was gonna take his place in season 5 because I love Erica.
Dude, I hope she's just a part of the crew next
Me too.
season. She's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that with her the flashlight confirming stuff was cool. Like,
Dude, I love their plan.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
sick.
It's smart,
super.
except for the part where they use glaives, which aren't even meta in Destiny. I don't know where they got that idea. I thought that was hilarious. They were like making those, and I was like, TTK is gonna be real high on those, and then they're using them. Just like, yup. Yours don't even have a shield and a gun attached to it.
Everything
Their shields are cool
got
though.
a Destiny reference. Yeah, no,
Oh,
their
heck yeah.
homemade armor was nice. It was
Mhm.
fun. It was cool.
Dude,
Yeah, we're not heroes.
Yeah.
yeah, the separate ways montage where they're just all getting their stuff ready and they're looking super scared was super well done.
Yep. Good use of music, Stranger Things.
Dude, they freaking crush it with those needle drops, man. It's good stuff.
Yep.
Please calm down with fireworks outside.
Speaking of needle
We're
drops,
trying to podcast.
I really also, I mean, I loved both of these episodes front to back, really, but when Max gets to the snowball and then like Vecna starts to invade it and change it,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh my
Mhm.
god, I got chills again.
Yep.
I was like, dude, this is so wild. I was like, where's he gonna pop up at? And he really just kind of hangs out.
Yeah.
And then 11 walks in and Vecna's just like, what the freaking crap?
Yep. I love the dialogue between Eleven and Vecna too.
Mm.
Just kind of like, I'm glad you're here. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Really well written.
Yep.
What did you guys...
Sorry, I was gonna say, I like how 11 gets him monologuing, not he just decides to monologue.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I've seen people complain about, like, why is he just telling his whole plan? It's like, it's 11. She's distracting him.
Yeah.
It's a ruse.
in his mind.
It's what we do with villains in movies and TV shows and stories. We get them to monologue. It's part of the thing. There's story structure. But B, like, yeah, it's like 11 is someone he has personal... I love the line where he's like, at one point I was hoping that you would be here with, like, by my side.
Mhm.
Like, he has this emotional connection to her that's not just evil villain monologuing to obvious good guy to...
Pad time. And exposition.
Yeah. No, there's this, like, deeper connection there that I think they play really well off of each other, especially for Vecna being a CGI character. The guy who voiced him...
Jamie Campbell? Jamie Hugh Campbell or something like that?
Really, really well done.
Young Grindelwald.
Grindelwald.
What'd you guys think about... We haven't talked about Robin much. What do you think about Robin as part of the crew this season?
I think she's adds some nice levity to a pretty stressful season with teenagers getting their bodies snapped into pieces.
She's also in like the serious group.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's a good change of pace for them.
I think it's a nice way to break up that there's the obvious love triangle hinting happening between Steve and Nancy and Jonathan. And I think her being there to kind of break up the Steve and Nancy stuff works really well.
I love how they're like Steve and Robin are always just like, man,
yeah, they just always look at
like,
each other like, gosh, dang it. That was another, like, even more reason though, and I mean, I guess credit to them. They really had me sold that Steve was biffing it this season.
So once Steve didn't die in episode 7, I knew he was fine the rest of the season.
7 was after
it's when he's getting attacked. But something I did like, I wasn't
really loud. I apologize to our audio listeners.
They gave everybody a goodbye moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every single
character got one.
They really made you feel like anybody was in danger.
Yeah. I mean, nobody died out of the main core group.
Yeah.
I mean, except Eddie. But I was like,
season 1 cast.
That's smart. Yeah. Like, they showed Steve and Nancy's moment. I was like, they're not killing Steve. Are they gonna kill Nancy?
Yeah.
Which is one of my predictions. Spoilers. But then, like, they gave Dustin and Eddie a moment, and Max and Lucas, even, like, the parents, and everybody had one. I was like, that's smart.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody have it ruined for themselves. Be like, oh, it's too predictable.
Yeah. Indeed. Overall, really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun.
I guess the last thing I want to talk about is just, they're back at Hopper's cabin in the end.
Yeah.
And Will's like, it's weird knowing who it was now the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He gets the
it's like, so they're connected, right? So
I love his little superpower too. He's still the spy, always the spy. Another thing I have is I think Max might kind of have a connection to Vecna too. Now,
yeah.
She can't be in a coma.
Oh, she'll come back. Just for the first 2 episodes, she'll be like, she'll wake up and be like, out my neck. My back of my neck.
What if they mind flayer her? Remember they were cloning fools.
Dude, season 5 could get crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna get nuts.
The thought is, and I don't know if it's confirmed, but it's heavily been alluded to, is that there's going to be a pretty big time jump.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they've said that.
Okay.
They said there will be a significant time jump,
which gets me super intrigued. I feel like it's going to be our main core and their families just like, why can't we leave? Why do we need to be here? Hopper's gonna be like, your kids are heroes. Your kids are too important. Go sit down. I really do want the parents to kind of become involved next season too.
We got surprisingly little of the parents. They were in
Three episodes.
2 or 3 episodes briefly, and they've never been that big of a presence. But I think when the world is ending, it's a little bit like, why are we? Like, why are we not showing these things?
Yeah. I don't know. I find it interesting that him and Will are connected. What that means moving forward.
Yeah.
I guess we can start predicting.
So, real quick though, I wondered if they were going to do this at all to show that maybe Vecna had killed 8, who was the girl, 11's sister, because he can make people see things and he steals powers. So I was like, are they going to like show him killing her? But they never did. So I'm wondering if she comes back to be like, yo, I'll help you fight this.
I remember
freaking
Dana
weirdo.
was in season 2 in that episode when they go to Chicago. I was like, oh, this is weird.
Because like when Chrissy's in the bathroom and they're seeing clocks and they're seeing spiders, it's like, oh, that was her power. She even makes that one dude see spiders.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hope she comes back in season 5
I have
as the bad guy.
I hope she does too, to make that second season episode feel. I wish that episode would have been placed in a different spot in the season.
I enjoy that episode quite a bit now. I feel like it doesn't even feel out of place. It's really important for 11.
Yeah.
But I do get like
if
people
TV
think about it.
if
I just wish
TV
it was in a
writers
different
have learned
spot, 'cause it's
anything
right up
over
the
the
pumpkin
last
patch.
like 5 years, it's how to call back to
Yes.
something.
Payoffs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Try and pay off something that fans didn't appreciate at the time. So,
Let's get to predicting.
season 5
Who gonna
predictions.
Season 4, booyah.
Oh yeah, it's a booyah for me.
I'm gonna give it a fanboy worthy.
Booyahs.
We like it more than you.
Fives.
I already gave 2 things booyahs today.
What's wrong with that?
Hit my quota.
Good media. Woo!
I love giving booyahs. I'm gonna just give a booyah to everything.
Wow.
Even Morbius.
Even Morbius. It's Morbin time. Booyah.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Did you
Morbin
just
time.
confirm a cyborg Morbius crossover?
Yes. No, the phrase "it's Morbin time" is a booyah.
Yes.
Morbius is still a dumpster fire.
That's the second time I've heard that today.
No, we're taking that out of context completely and posting that all over social media.
That's fine. What else is social media for?
That's true.
Death predictions. Mine. And I don't think all these people are die. These are the people I think will die if people die. Nancy will die to solve the life triangle. Because instead of kind of forcing a romance to happen because one of the guys dies, the girl's gonna die and they're just gonna be like, we're buds. We're friends because of this girl we loved.
Right.
Or they hate each other and that's a spin-off and it's them fighting. I think 11 is gonna die.
Steve wins that fight 10 times out of 10. Sorry.
Oh, he's already lost.
He lost to Jonathan already in season 1.
Yeah, he gets the crap kicked out of him by Jonathan.
That's true.
The only
So,
dude
9 times out of 10.
Steve.
Steve didn't win a fight until season 3 when he
3.
fought that Russian. He still almost lost.
Yeah, Steve's just good at taking punishment and babysitting kids.
Touche.
I think 11 is gonna die. I think it will come down to she has to kind of sacrifice herself to end everything. I think Will is gonna die, and I think Joyce is gonna die. The one adult that I think dies is Joyce.
Sure.
She's kind of been fine through it all. I don't think Hopper will die because he already did, kind of. And I do not think they will kill the 2 fan favorites, Steve and Dustin. And I really only think maybe 2 will die.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Tyler?
Oh, man. So I think 11 dies for sure for the same reason.
Man, are we too predictable? Is that too predictable? They probably won't do it.
Here's where I differ. I think Jonathan dies. Not to solve the love triangle, but there's the line between him and Will that no matter what, I will love you. Because I think Will's going to end up becoming bad. I think Will's kind of the plan. I think Will's Vecna's plan.
Yeah.
is to use Will against the kids, not just as a spy.
Yeah.
Because he's been sidelined pretty much every season. I feel like they're
Except
trying
two.
to. Yeah, I think they're going to set him up in a big way. That's my bold prediction. He's going to be part of the bad guy team.
I would dig that.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that moment between him and Jonathan talking about, I love you no matter what, and we know what they're alluding to, but I think they're going to use it for something bigger too.
Sure.
I think Mike dies.
Oh, that's a puppy dog. I'll let her in.
That scared the crap out of me. Well, she
Hey,
just let
Gemma.
herself in.
That scared the crap out of me.
You're nervous about the fireworks. She's nervous. Oh, yeah. Here, sit. Sit. It's okay.
Anyways, Jonathan, 11, Mike.
You're okay.
I think Mike dies trying to save 11 when
You're
she's trying to
okay.
sacrifice herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think what's his name? Action hero dude from this season. The guy who's with Joyce.
Hopper?
No.
Anatoly?
No.
Oh,
Stupid coma.
Murray.
Guy.
Murray.
I think
Oh,
Murray
yeah.
dies.
yeah.
Yeah, I think...
But he knows karate, bro. He's soul body's a weapon.
That's right.
I think Murray dies. My predictions are going to be Murray, Mike...
Only M names.
Ooh.
Murray, Mike, and
Um,
Maleven. No.
Max.
Yeah.
Murray, Mike, and Max.
Murray, Mike, Max. And...
I just hope if Max dies, they don't do it off screen with the time jump.
And Will. I don't want Will to die, but I think Will will.
It's M upside
Will.
down.
Will. It's, yeah, upside down, man. Upside down him.
The upside down. Oh my god.
That's why he's evil.
And you can Vecna.
Yeah.
Vecna will die, which is half of an upside down M.
I feel like we're
Reaching, but
really
yeah.
stretching there,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
You know.
Any
Gotta
other...
stretch those legs out
gotta make it
sometimes.
work.
So other than deaths, other season 5... You kind of mentioned your time travel
I think
theory.
time travel will be involved somehow.
I think Will's evil. That's my big
I
one.
don't think Jason's dead. I think a lot of the people that probably got ripped in half by the portal might be minions of Vecna.
Oh.
Because, like, when 11 shot 1 through the first portal, he gets obliterated and then it kind of appears back into it.
Yeah.
I think it could be something similar.
Dude, his look, like, pre-Vecna, but post-1, was
Oh,
sick looking.
yeah.
Side note, I loved how it shows how he got so powerful. Like, he can consume people's abilities, and he
Creates...
takes over the mind flayers. How he got that.
Yep.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. No, it makes sense.
Yeah. He basically created the Upside Down in his version
And
of
yeah, I
Hawkins.
was gonna say like
It's kinda sick.
It existed, and he molded it
To be what he wanted it
to
to
his
be.
will.
It's so sick.
His will. His will.
Oh my gosh.
It's Will.
It's Will.
Will be his will.
I'm sure we find out who 11's father is. I think that might happen.
Could be interesting. I don't need more relation things, but it's fine. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't have any big predictions. I don't
The
know.
dude with no eyes comes back and has a punch fight with
He
Vecna.
wears his Freddy glove. Robert Englund shows up as Freddy and fights Vecna. Even though Vecna has the big claw hand. The
Mhm.
hand of Vecna from D&D.
I'm curious how much Hawkins, like, in the real world will be like the Upside Down.
Meshed. Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, it kind of shows at the end, like, the giant storm clouds, the red
Yeah.
sky, the fire, and the dead plants.
I hope they do something I really, really liked at the end of this season was showing, Robin and Dustin and Steve helping out at the shelter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think we gloss over a lot in our action movies where it's like, oh, these devastating things happen, but we're just focused on the heroes who, are back at their Avengers tower or eating shawarma.
We saved the world,
or-
now it's done.
But, like, saving the world doesn't end there. Saving the world means helping people who have been
Mhm.
displaced.
Recuperate,
So, like, I kind of hope they can't just undo everything and that they save the day, but ultimately, like, saving the day means more than just doing the heroic thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing the little things to help your neighbors.
Taking it one step further.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's my other not so bold prediction. There will be a backdoor spin-off pilot in the final season.
For sure.
For a new group of characters.
Here's my bold prediction. There won't.
Oh. I like it. Fight. My prediction is
I'm not going to fight Luke.
there is, but it won't happen.
I already beat you in
I don't know.
cornhole. That will be our
All right. Any final thoughts?
It's a booyah. Watch it. It's great.
It is really good.
I still
Really, really
don't
good.
want to like nail it down like as a fact yet, but man, just one season away, and I can just say this is one of the best shows ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could always Game of Thrones it, and then I just say it was almost one of the greatest shows ever.
And then at that point we'll say, writing final seasons must just be hard.
Here's the thing, though. They've known the story ever since season 2.
Yeah.
They made season 1, and then Netflix was like, hey, where's this going? And they're like, well, here's where it's going. And that's what they've been doing, as opposed to Game of Thrones
We have the
or any
books.
other show where they're
Now
just
what?
like, let's try this.
Let's go lightsabers for the Flash.
Oh my gosh.
No, I
Somehow, Reverse Flash is returned.
I have Luke to thank for me watching this show. So Luke came over and was like, "Bro, we're watching this."
Dude, I championed this show so hard
You
when
did.
it first came out.
You did.
I'm proud of that.
Luke was one of the guys who was like on my front porch, like, "Hey, bro, we're watching this show right now," and it was like 11:30 at night, and I was like, "Dude, I want to go to sleep." And they were like,
No.
"We're watching at least 2 episodes," and I was like, "Okay."
I think I said 1, and then you're like, we're going to watch the second one
Yeah.
too. I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It's a great show, and
I think that was
really glad I
after
watched
your
it.
birthday too.
May have been.
I think we had like a get together after your birthday, and I was like, are we going to watch?
Yeah,
Are
it
we
was-
going to watch? And you're like, okay.
and then we kept watching, and we finished the season the next day.
Yeah.
Jim is shedding so much right now.
She's stressed out.
She's a little nervous, even with the trazodone.
Oh.
Still a little nervous. That's okay.
That's
We'll
all I
wrap up.
got. Yeah.
We'll wrap up here, and I'll give her some cuddles, and she'll be happy.
Cool.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed Stranger Things as much as we did. Make sure you go check out RRR and the Black Phone. Just a couple more plugs for great movies we watched
Rise, Roar, Revolt is what that stands for, by the way.
this week. So next week we'll be talking about, what are we talking? Oh, probably Thor. We got Thor next week. So,
4.
Come back and we'll talk about all the hilarious hijinks Taika wrote up for this one. But until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll see ya.
Goodbye.